Hi, I'm Glenn,
I'm Ryan.
and we're here at Village Garage Distillery in downtown Bennington, Vermont.
We're going to give you the craft spirits and distilling tip of the week.
Based on safety being, one of our main concerns, we were kind of at a weird stage with this build out in 2019, 2020, where it really wasn't the Wild West anymore. There were laws and things in place where there were standards. And that being said, our production room and our storage room had to be a Class 1, Division 1 build out. The glass behind us here from the tasting room is, it's 2-hour fire rated. The wall is 1 hour fire rated. The division between the other two is also a 1-hour fire rating with fire doors. In the midst of that, we had to put in alcohol sensors. So there's alcohol sensors that, engineers and the architect designed and placement of, which will pick up 10% LEL, lower explosive level. So if alcohol, there's a leak or a problem, it will be detected instantly. And when it hits 10% LEL, an alarm will alert us and a secondary fan will kick on. Primary, there's a heat HRU, a heat recovery unit, which actually flips the air over 6 times per hour in those rooms. If we do hit 10% LEL, a secondary fan will kick on, which won't temper the air. It will literally just pull the heavy solids in the air off the floor and dump in new fresh air up above. At that point, if there's still a problem and we hit 20% LEL, everything that's electronic that would be an ignition point will kick off. All of it is called shunt tripped, so it will kill any possible ignition points. On top of that, all the safety devices that are in place are all explosion-proof motors. If there was another problem where we lost power in the midst of all of this, there's a generator, a 15 kW generator that runs off propane outside, which will keep power to all of the safety devices. So if emergency teams ever had to come in, they'll be protected to the best we can and get through the problem. Like I said earlier, we legally can only have 240 gallons in processed product over 32 proof at any given time that is not in glass or in wood. They'll produce Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then bottling is on Wednesday. And in the midst of bottling, when we originally started, square footage was, of the essence. We had to work with what we had. And that's why we came up with a bottling system where we stacked it. And we use gravity. It's pretty cut and dry. We ended up having a 6-inch water main with 240 PSI at the head coming into the building. At that point, we filter every bit of water here through a 30-gallon a minute carbon filter. From there, some of the water actually goes out to the back room where we have our reverse osmosis machine. And from there, the water is carried overhead with just head pressure to the top of our proofing tower where there's 180 gallons on call at all times for bottling and proofing. Below that, our second tier is a 250-gallon tank sets on an explosion-proof scale. That everything is pumped with explosion-proof pumps overhead into that tank where it's proof gallons, by weight. So we can use gravity to proof the RO water down. It's air agitated. So we have a scroll air compressor, which is oil-free, moisture-free, and it's super functional. Below that, we had gravity fill our bottler. From there, we can gravity fill our barrels, and it works. It works, and it's super efficient, and we're not spinning the meter all day doing it. So that was a bonus on top of. The distillery was built first and foremost to add life to our downtown, and in doing that, safety was a big concern. As a craftsman myself from the metal world, I was able to carry all that stuff over to the distilling world and give Ryan a nice clean canvas to do his work and highlight his art in hopes I can ride his coattails a little bit and learn some of that also. A big thing was really keeping it safe for our community and our downtown. This is the old highway department, hence the Village Garage is where our name came from. Our logo, the stars, are actually the Green Mountain Boys, which mustered to take Ticonderoga. We brought this distillery to downtown to show an art, to highlight a craft, to bring in some live entertainment, to bring in good food, local, sustainability, and really the safety and sustainability were the two big keys of what we're doing here. For more information on building out a sustainable and efficient distillery,
Make sure you click the link below.